Students, we are going to begin with chapter 2, operations on whole numbers. So to begin with, first we have natural numbers. The counting numbers are called natural numbers. The smallest natural number is 1, and we don't have any biggest natural number. As the counting, you can see it is indefinite, or you can say countless. We don't have any largest natural number. So next we have the whole numbers. All natural numbers together with 0 are called whole numbers. So if you see here, we have 0 and all the natural numbers are also with it. Natural numbers also and 0 also. So all these numbers together, they are 0, and all these counting numbers together, they are called whole numbers. The smallest whole number is 0. Again the same, we don't have any largest whole number. Next, I'm going to explain you here the representation of whole numbers on number line. How to represent the whole numbers? We draw a straight line with arrows both the sides. Arrows on both the sides, the reason is that the numbers, it's not that I begin with 0, then 1 and 2 and I write the numbers like this and so on. This means we have negative numbers this side, which will be taught later. Okay, we have negative numbers this side, and we have after 5 also we have countless numbers on the right side. But because this is representation of whole numbers, that's why we are beginning it with 0. And equal distance should be there between. This is the distance. Equal distance should be there between two numbers. So next we are going to discuss here the properties of whole numbers. So next we have properties of whole numbers. So in the property, see, first we will be discussing with the properties of addition. The first property that we have is the closure property, which says the sum of any two whole numbers is always a whole number. And generally if we say A and B, if these two are whole numbers, then A plus B is also a whole number. I'll show you by an example. See, example here, we say, for example, I take A as a 2 and this B I take as a 5. 2 is a whole number, 5 is a whole number. When you add the 2 and you get 7, this is 7 also, it's a whole number. So this is the closure property of addition. Next we have here the commutative law. See, the commutative law of addition says the addition of whole numbers is commutative. Okay, now we say if A and B are any two whole numbers, A and B, this is the general, when we say na, A and B, this means any number. Okay, so A and B, they are any two whole numbers, then A plus B is B plus A. This is just like if we have done in the junior classes, that when the order of the digits in addition is changed, the sum remains the same. I'll show you by an example. I say 2 plus 5 here. We say this is a 7, and now when you add 5 first and then you add a 2, again you get 7. So the order doesn't matter. This is the commutative law of addition. Now after this we have the associative law. I'm doing the number 3 law, that is the associative law. See, the associative law of addition says the addition of whole numbers is associative. If A, B, C, they are any whole numbers, it says that A plus B plus C is A plus. See, if you look at this simply, it means I have written 3 numbers, for example. So let me show you by an example. I say 1 plus 3 plus 5. Here also I write 1 plus 3 plus 5. Now I add on this is the left side, okay. Left side I add the first two numbers first and I get 4 plus 5, that is a 9. Now here let me add the last two numbers. I get here 8. So this means when three numbers are there, order is changed the way we are adding. Here I have added the first two, here I have added the last two. It doesn't matter. So this is what the law says, that if A, B, C are whole numbers, then A plus B in the bracket plus C is equal to A plus B plus C, this B plus C in the bracket. Now next we have here the existence of additive identity. So next we have here existence of additive identity. See, it says if A and B are any whole numbers, then A plus 0 is 0 plus A. Did you notice I have just changed the order here? And that is equal to A. And where 0, this is called the additive identity for 0 is called the additive identity of for whole numbers. Now let me take an example here. I say 5 plus 0. Now change the order. We say 0 plus 5 and that is equal to 5. I hope it's clear. You can correlate these two things. Now this was in addition. Now let's come to the difference this in the subtraction part. Now when you have see, the difference of two whole numbers is not in the note. You can see in the book, in the note, the difference of two whole numbers is not necessarily a whole number. I take any whole numbers. Say for example, I take 2 and 5. These are two whole numbers. 2 is a whole number, 5 is a whole number. Now let me subtract the two. If I subtract like this, smaller I have put in the front, then the bigger number, I get here minus 3. Okay, and this is not a whole number. This is a negative. This that minus 3 we have got, it's a negative integer. So in the note only second part, see here, it says that subtraction of whole numbers is neither commutative nor associative. I'll show you by an example. When you say it is in subtraction, we are now dealing with the subtraction part. It is neither commutative. We say it's not commutative. Now recall what was the commutative law. If I take two numbers, for example, I say 5 minus 2 and I say 2 minus 5. Did you notice that I have changed the order? See, I put the equal to sign. It will not be equal to. Answer when you find out. You calculate this, we will get here 3, and when you calculate this, I get here minus 3. I hope you can see the difference between the two, and the both are not equal. So that's why we say that subtraction of whole numbers is not commutative. I hope it's clear to you. Next we have here subtraction is not associative also. See, in this case I can take simple example here. I say for example, I take 1 minus 2 minus 3 and then I say, okay, I'm putting equal to, actually it's not equal to, it will be not equal to. We will do it first. And the next is 1 minus 2 minus 3. Now I subtract, for example here, the first two numbers first. What do I get? 1 minus 2, when you get, it's minus 1 minus 3 and I get minus 4. And here when you do with the last numbers, we get 1 minus. Now when you subtract 2 minus 3, here you get minus 1. So in this case we get 1 plus 1, that is 2. So minus 1 is not equal to 2. That's why we say in subtraction of whole numbers, it is not associative. This is the reason. See, I hope it's clear. In the commutative, when the order is changed, you see we are getting different answers here. Similarly, associative, if you subtract the first two and answer, then from the answer you subtract the next, okay, you get a different answer. And when you are subtracting the last two and then you solve it, I hope we understand minus and minus here, plus it will be, okay, and when you solve it you get 2. So these were the properties of addition and subtraction. Now next we will be dealing with the multiplication here. So next we have properties of multiplication. In the multiplication, first of all, we have this closure property. Closure property says the product of two whole numbers is always a whole number. We say if A and B are any two whole numbers, it says that A into B is also a whole number. Now by an example, if I show you, I say 5 and 2. I take A as 5 and B as 2. This is a whole number, 2 is a whole number. Multiply the 2 and you get 10. 10 is also a whole number. So that's why it says that the product of two whole numbers is always a whole number, and this is the closure property. Now next we have the commutative law. Commutative law of multiplication. It says the multiplication of whole numbers is commutative. Example, if we say like generally if I take if A and B are any two whole numbers, then A into B is B into A. I hope it is clear. Now by an example, if you take here 5, I take this A as 5 and this as 3, and here I take B, I take as 3 into A5, and you get same. So this means the multiplication of whole numbers is commutative. So next we have here the associative property. Next we have the associative property of multiplication. The multiplication of whole numbers is associative. Okay, so this means it is associative. The multiplication of whole numbers is associative. If A and B are any whole numbers, then A into B into C is equal to A into B into C. And you just see here we are putting in the bracket. The bracket means I will be solving these two first. And here I put the last two in the bracket. Okay, now this we can solve it by an example here. You will see A I take 1, this I take B as 3 and this as 4. Then similarly I write 1 into 3 into 4. Same numbers we are taking. Okay, now here I multiply the first two and I get that is 12. Let's do this one. Now here I am multiplying the last two and we notice it is same. So this means the multiplication of whole numbers is associative. This is what the law says. Now next we have the fourth one, that is the existence of multiplicative identity. Now it says if A is any whole number, then A into 1 is 1 into A, just change the order, and that is equal to A. A is called the multiplicative identity. This one is called the multiplicative identity for whole numbers. Okay, now if you take an example here, I say 6 into 1 is 1 into 6. Change the order and it will be A. Just like here it was A, here we have 6. Now next we have the multiplicative property of 0. The fifth part here. Next we have the multiplicative property of 0. If A is any whole number, then A into 0 is 0 into A, that is 0. Simply what we have been doing, that if you multiply 0 by any number, you get a 0. You change the order, you multiply A with the 0, again 0. Example, if I take 5 into 0, or I change the order and write 0 into 5, it will be 0. This is what the law says. Now the sixth law, distributive law. We have solved many questions with this law. Very, very important. So the distributive law of multiplication over addition. Now this is over addition. Reason I'll tell you. If A and B are any whole numbers, the law says A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus, because of this plus we are saying it's over addition, plus A into C. With an example also I will be telling you, but first of all how it is. See this B and C, it's together. Okay, so what we do, A we multiply by B, A you multiply by B, then you put this plus sign because we are opening the bracket actually. Then you put the plus sign here, ये वाला, this plus you put it here, and then A into C, A into C. Now we will be doing it by an example. If I say here A, I take 2 into, I say 3 plus 4. Okay, so let's solve this first. It will be 2 into, we get 3 and 4, we get 7, and it is 14. Now let's open it using this law. So means 2I, this I am opening. 2 you multiply by 3 first. Okay, 2 you multiply by 3, then this plus. Then 2 you have to multiply with the second number of the bracket, that is 2 into 4. So let's check what do we get. We get here 6, 8, add the 2 and we get 14. So if you notice, A is outside the bracket like this. Okay, with this B plus C, when you open it, this is the way you open it. Okay, that A you multiply by B first, then plus, then A multiply C. I hope it's clear. This is the distributive law of multiplication. See, some questions definitely will be explained using this method. It will be clear. So this was the distributive law. Now next after this, it says, if in the note, you can see in the note, okay, which says if A, B, C, they are whole numbers and B is greater than C, A, B, C are whole numbers, and this condition is given, B is greater than C, then just see this, it says B, A into B minus C is equal to, see, as we have done before, A into B, whatever the number outside you multiply with the first term of this in the bracket, A into B, this minus, because it's minus, previous it was plus, so we had to put here plus. Okay, so next A multiply C, A multiply C. So if I take an example here, I say this is A, I take 6 multiply. See, this condition we have to keep in mind, B greater than C. Now when I write the number here B, it should be greater than C. So let me take here 5 minus 3 for example. Okay, so that is equal to, now multiply the 6 into 5, minus sign here, 6 into 3. So let's solve both the sides and you will find both are equal. So this is 6 into, we get here 2, that is 12 here, and let's do this, 30 minus here we get 18 and we get here 12. So that is why we say here, if A and B are whole numbers, then B is greater than C, then we have this rule. Okay, now in the book you can see brackets are put here. It's better to put the brackets, yes, it's better if you put the brackets. Okay, so next we have here the division on whole numbers. Now in this division on whole numbers, see under this it says if A and B are whole numbers, then, and we say A into B is C. Okay, A, B, C, they are whole numbers. A into B is C. Then C divided by A is B and C divided by B is A. Now compare it with an example. It will be very clear to you. In place of A, I take, say, 5 into 3 is 15. Okay, now we know 15 divide by 5, it's 3. Then again this 15 you divide by 3 and it's 5. We are very much familiar with this thing when you take the numbers. This is exactly has been explained generally by taking A, B, C. Okay, next we have here the division algorithm. Division algorithm, see what it says. We know when we are dividing, here we write dividend, divisor, quotient. In the end, what we get is the remainder. So simply we will say, we know this, dividend, this dividend is divisor into quotient, divisor into quotient plus remainder. So this is what the division algorithm says. Next, some important results we know very well. First part, division by 0 is not possible, or it's meaningless, it's not defined, anything you can say. Okay, division by 0 not defined. Division by 0 means we cannot have 0 in the denominator. Division by 0 is meaningless. Now next it says, if A is not equal to 0. Now this is very important. When it say A not equal to 0, then A divided by A is 1. A divided by A is 1. Now consider an example. I say 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, now when it says A is not equal to 0, why it says this 2 should not be equal to 0. Okay, this rule answer, this one answer we get only where in the denominator we don't have 0. Denominator may, because we cannot have 0, that's why it is said A not equal to 0. Okay, next we have here the third part, which says A divided by 1 is A. Let me tell you by an example. See here we say 3 divided by 1, it's 3. You can take an example. Okay, now next we have the simplifying a given expression. Simply I will be telling you what it is. We are familiar with the BODMAS, where B stands for bracket, O is for off, D for division, M for multiplication, A is for addition, and S